So now you have your business, now you have you're in school, now you have your job. Now, how in the world have you been able to manage? Were you a mom at this time or no?
Yes,
Oh, yeah,
yes,
you were.
yes,
Yeah, you
yes,
were.
yes. When my daughter went with me to college, she was 2 years old. You know, when you become a parent and you learn sacrifice and you've seen your parent do it, when you don't have a choice, you don't know what you're capable of until you have to do it right.
Until you have no other choice. Welcome to the Side-HustlHER Podcast, the podcast for women building their dreams while balancing work, family, and all the things. I'm your host, Carly LeBlanc, a wife, mom, marketer, and your side hustling friend here to teach you how to grow a brand that works for you and not the other way around. Whether you're a side hustling pro or just starting out, this is your safe place for real talk, actionable strategies, and the encouragement you need to keep going. We're here to help you make progress and not perfection. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's build your dream one step at a time. Hey, and welcome back to the Side-HustlHER Podcast. I'm your host, Carly, and today's episode is so amazing. And this is really for all of my mompreneurs out there that are juggling a 9 to 5 while trying to build a successful side hustle. Now, if you've ever felt like you don't have enough time or energy or strategy to grow your business alongside with your full-time job and family life, then this episode is going to be just for you. I'm so excited to have my good friend Courtney Darden on the show today. She is a mom, a teacher, and a total boss in the beauty industry. As the founder of Imperishable Beauty Bar, she has been in the game for over 10 years, starting her makeup artistry hustle while still in undergrad. And over the years, her side hustle has opened so many doors, allowing her to travel for makeup, grow her personal brand, and truly kill the game as a mompreneur and a beauty brand owner. So, in this episode, we're diving into what it really takes to build a beauty brand while working a full-time job. And Courtney is going to be sharing her journey on how she first got her clients, the challenges she faced, the strategies she's using or used to build her brand without having a massive social media following. Plus, we'll get into how she stays consistent with her content creation despite her crazy busy schedule and the real tips she has for anyone that is looking to grow a side hustle without feeling overwhelmed. So, if you've been waiting for a sign to finally go all in on your side hustle while balancing a 9 to 5, while balancing having kids, while balancing everything in between, this episode is going to be for you. So grab your notebook, get comfy, and let's get into it. If you're feeling stuck with social media and struggling to market your business online, I've got something just for you. I'm hosting a free 30-day social media challenge all month long, and it's not too late to join. This challenge is designed to help you finally understand how social media works for your business so you can start showing up with confidence, creating content that attracts your ideal audience, and turning followers into customers. And listen, I'm not just throwing a bunch of tasks and leaving you out hanging. We're having 2 live Q&A office hours throughout the challenge where you can ask questions, get direct feedback, and make sure you're staying on track. This challenge is completely free, so there's no excuse for you to sit out on the sidelines. Now, if you're serious about growing your brand online, sign up at cdcreativecoagency.com/challenge and join us now. That's cdcreativecoagency.com/challenge. It's also in the show notes below. Let's get you showing up and making moves online this month. Hello, Courtney, and welcome to the Side-HustlHER Podcast.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm so excited to have you here. So Courtney has been a friend, a fellow entrepreneur that I had known through other connections with other people. And she's an amazing makeup artist here in Houston. Courtney has been doing this for a while now because when she did my makeup, it was for my sister's wedding, and that was back in 2021. So yeah, she's been in the game for a nice little chunk of time now. But I wanted to have you on here because I am so inspired by you. I follow you on Instagram. I've been following you on Instagram for a very long time now. I see how you balance your full-time job, how you balance your business, how you balance being a mom. And it's just truly inspirational because I feel like a lot of people are in this position where they can relate to you and your journey of trying to balance it all. And so I wanted to have you on here because I know you have a wealth of knowledge of how you manage your business, how you manage. I mean, the fact that you're a teacher, that's no easy job. So wanted to have you on here because I just feel like you have a wealth of knowledge to share with the audience.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yes. So I guess we will start off with taking us back on your journey. So take us back to day one when you decided to first start your business. What made you want to start a business? Where were you? Were you in school? Were you working your full time job? Take us back from the jump.
Honestly, I never intended on starting a business. It wasn't something that was just like, this is what I want to do when I grow up. It kind of just happened naturally. As a previous athlete in high school, I loved makeup. I always wore eyeshadow on the court. I always had eyeshadow on in my team pictures. So I liked makeup. I desired makeup, but I never saw myself as a makeup artist. So when I went off to college, when my daughter would go to bed at night, I would like study YouTubers. And believe it or not, YouTube University, I studied YouTubers and I studied beauty influencers and whatever products that they purchased, I purchased. It was kind of like trial and error. So honestly, it kind of just happened naturally. Originally was a YouTube learner, and that's it.
I love that. I love that. And so when did you start your business?
I I would say I officially started my brand and perishable beauty bar in 2014. Now,
Wow.
was I doing like family and friends prior to 2014? Yes, but actually having a brand, getting a logo, setting prices, making like it official in 2014.
Wow. So you've been in business for a whole decade and then so. So this will be year
Yes,
11 for you. See,
was
that's amazing because I
yes,
did not even
starting
know that.
2025. Yeah, starting 2025 will be year 11. So yeah, I just wrapped up year 10.
Wow. Now that is
Yep,
amazing.
yep.
Congratulations. That's no drop in the
Thank you.
bucket. No
God is
drop in the
good.
bucket at all. Wow. That's amazing. And so when you first started your business, take us back to 2014. How did you put yourself out there to start getting clients, to start letting people know that you're in business? What was your strategy on getting clients to book your services?
So, back then it was like MySpace and Facebook only.
Mhm.
And also like word of mouth. So again, I study other YouTubers. I came across this website called Vistaprint where you can create your own business card.
Mm.
So back then, before the social media platform, it was kind of like a business card industry. So that's the first thing I did was created an email that was appropriate to match my business, and then Facebook and MySpace. So
Wow.
Facebook is kind of where I started posting myself with makeup on, and then eventually friends and family would start messaging me for, how much do I charge or can I do their face, things like that. So again, it happened naturally. I did not have a booking link back then, so it was kind of like contact me, email me, text me.
Wow. That's amazing how like you think about 10 years ago where we were in like social media. Like social media was not what it is nowadays, where
Nope.
now it's like a tool, but before it's like you had to really be creative, but then also you had to hustle, and get it out the mud, like they say, to get the clients.
Yeah.
So and of course, I mean, word of mouth is good too, but it's like I think now we all rely solely on social media as
Social media.
a way to market our business. But the fact that you have the experience of marketing your business prior to this evolution of social media, of influencers, of all of these things, where now it's like you can invest in somebody, doing somebody's makeup and then they can market your business on your behalf, like where that
Right.
was not a thing 10 years
Correct.
ago. So
Correct.
that's amazing. That is amazing. And so even at the beginning, so you were currently working a full-time job when you started your business?
Actually, when I started makeup artistry in 2014, I was a college student. I didn't even have a job. I was a
Whoa.
college student. I was a college
Wow.
student. Yes, when I started studying makeup artistry, I was living in Lufkin, Texas, because I was going to Angelina College. And then when I moved back home and I attended U of H, that's kind of when I started taking clients. But no, I didn't have a job in 2014 when I when I first started makeup artistry.
Wow. Wow. And so what was the, I guess, transformation where you're like, okay, I'm thinking about making this an actual business. Like this isn't just a hobby anymore. Like I want to actually do this and make it a real business.
Right. I would say the demand, the request, practice makes perfect.
Mhm.
So I felt like the more I got to touch other faces, other skin tones, other shapes, other cultures, the better I got at it. The more portfolio experience I had, that's kind of what took it there.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between a beauty influencer and a makeup artist. So a beauty influencer is being able to do your own face, being able to show what you can do on your own face, or you're showcasing sponsor products. But being a makeup artist is other faces. So I think the more comfortable I got with servicing others, that's what made it take it there. And to be completely honest, people think I'm just a bridal makeup artist now because for the past 6 years, it's just been a lot of wedding. So I think whatever was in demand, that's kind of what I went with. If it flowed naturally and God gave it to me, I went with it.
No, facts. Facts. That's really good. And so when you started, you weren't working a full-time job. And so when did you actually start working full-time or becoming a teacher?
So once I moved back to Houston, I actually was working in the restaurant industry at PF Chang's. I had worked at PF Chang's for 4 years. So then at that point, I was a college student working at PF Chang's, and I did makeup artistry on the side. So yes,
Wow.
it was a side hustle for me back when I was in college.
Wow. Okay, so now you have your business, now you have you're in school, now you have your job. Now, how in the world have you been able to manage? Because were you a mom at this time or no?
Yes,
Oh, yeah, you
yes,
were.
yes,
Yeah, you
yes,
were.
yes. When my daughter went with me to college, she was 2 years old. When
Wow.
I came back to Houston for U of H, she was 4 years old. So yes,
I am baffled.
yep, yep.
I am baffled because I think about like me being in college. I was not, I mean, I was in college, but and worked a job, but having a job, a side hustle, a kid, and school.
When you become a parent and you learn sacrifice and you've seen your parent do it, when you don't have a choice, you don't know what you're capable of until you have to do it, right?
Until you have no other choice. No, that's
So
real. That's real. Walk us through like what did that look like as far as like balancing your schedule because there's only 24 hours in a day. Like how were you able to take on clients cuz even like with me right now, I'm in this place where I'm like, man, if I, have client work like I'm neglecting my husband, I'm neglecting my kid, something is getting forgotten about. And
right,
so
right.
it's like how were you able to balance your schedule with being in school, with your child, with your job, with your business? That's a lot.
Girl, yes. Well, I would say time management, having a village. My mom always kept my daughter for me when I was at work or when I was busy using calendars. I'm gonna be honest, I still struggle with balancing all to this day. To this day. And right now my daughter is 16 to this day. And everyone thinks because she's older that the
Mm.
parenting stopped. But they're actually more
Mm.
involved
Yeah.
when they get older.
Yeah.
Man, learning how to balance, learning discipline, learning how to use the schedule, using the calendar. With me being a teacher, I just transitioned out of coaching volleyball and basketball. I just transitioned out of that 2 years ago. So with my daughter's volleyball tournaments and my own game tournaments and having weddings on the weekends, using my calendar. And I actually talk about that in my ebook that I created, Beyond the Artistry, of like what it takes to be a beauty entrepreneur outside of makeup artistry. But man, using calendars saved me, and you got to do what works for you. Because I want to say for the past 5 years, I decided to just open my books monthly because that's
Mm.
what works for me. And I know clients probably prefer 3 months out or 2 months out, but I needed to see my daughter's schedule. I needed to see my district education schedule, and then I would create my availability for clients around those schedules. So open my books monthly on the 20th is what works for me.
That's a strategy within itself. I feel like that's something I probably could use for myself because for me,
Mhm.
when people book me, they're like thinking ahead, and I'm like, I have no idea. Like, I can
Right.
only focus on
So
right now. Yeah.
months a month is what worked for me.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that that's good because then you have a sense of not feeling overwhelmed or overcommitting, or even where it's like if somebody tries to book something in May and you have no
Right,
idea, and then your daughter's like, "Oh, I have something on that day." That
right,
helps with a lot of things because it's like when you're, and you know this, when you're in the beauty industry, the people are a little ruthless when they can't get their hair done and they makeup done and
correct,
all of the things,
correct,
because they typically get those things done for events, right? And so
correct.
if you last minute have to cancel or reschedule because, scheduling conflicts with
Committed
something
to
that's
something too
going
early.
on, or even when you get sick, like,
Right,
it's a
right,
big deal. It's a
right,
huge deal.
right. So
And
I
that's something
only
I
commit.
also want to talk about too, because we'll get into that. Because I'm like,
So I only commit to weddings. I only commit to weddings like months out. But individual clients, months a month. Yeah.
that's good. No, that's something that I would definitely use in my own business.
Good.
So, a lot of people think that you have to have a huge following to be successful as an entrepreneur. And so, I think with you talking about how you got started before it was this exponential growth of social media, I think you would be the perfect person to attest that you don't need a huge following in order to build a business. So, other than the other strategies that you discussed earlier, as far as like, business cards, word of mouth, referrals, what encouragement would you give someone that is starting a business or building a beauty business right now in this moment, that also feel like they have to have a huge following in order for them to be successful as a entrepreneur?
Honestly, I would say focus on the data. I would say don't measure your success or your goals based on your followers, if that makes sense.
Mm,
Um, because the long term goal is you want to bring in revenue, right? And so followers doesn't necessarily give you revenue. Followers may give you a platform, but it's not putting money in your pockets, right? So I would say be realistic about what do you want long term, right? For example, what is my monthly goal? Is my monthly goal to get 25 new followers per month, or is my monthly goal is to gain 10 new clients for the month? Which one am I going to benefit from? Am I going to benefit from the 25 followers per month, or am I going to benefit from gaining 10 new clients for the month? So I would say I know social media can be a blessing and a curse. I also talk about that in my journal that I created. Have tunnel vision.
mm,
Don't compare, don't look left and right. Like you can admire somebody else, but don't try to compare and contrast with
mm.
somebody else. Because you know what they say, comparison is the thief of joy. So I say set measurable goals for yourself and don't let followers measure what God has in store for you.
Yeah, that's really good. Y'all already know I'm all about working smarter and not harder, especially when it comes to marketing your brand. And if you're still relying only on social media to reach your audience, we need to fix that immediately. Social media is cute, but let's be real, the algorithm is unpredictable, and your content is probably only reaching a small percentage of your followers. That's why I swear by email marketing, because when I send an email, I know 100% of my subscribers are getting my messages. And the best part, Flowdesk makes it ridiculously easy. You can send beautiful on-brand emails, automate your sequences, and even create landing pages without needing to be tech savvy. And because you're listening, I got you a deal. Use my code Side-Hustle at checkout and you'll get 50% off your Flowdesk subscription for the next 12 months. So if you're ready to stop relying on algorithms and start building an email list that actually converts, try Flowdesk for free. And don't forget to use the code Side-Hustle at checkout for that exclusive 50% off. That is really, really good. And I think that's where I'm at right now as well, because I've been on this entrepreneur journey for about a year and a half. And, at the beginning, when you first start, you feel so inclined to follow all of the people that are in the industry that are doing what you're doing,
Right,
so you can get inspired,
right,
so you can
right.
do market research, so you can, just figure out what they're doing. And it's a blessing and a curse because yes, you get inspired, but then also you're
Correct,
focusing on their year
correct.
3 and comparing it to your day 1, and then you
Right,
feel as if you're not adequate enough or if you're not good enough because your work doesn't look like theirs, or your client base doesn't look like theirs, or your audience doesn't look like theirs. And so I think that having tunnel vision has really helped me to stay focused on what I need to do instead of getting distracted and discouraged by what everybody else is doing. And then finding myself in this place where I'm like, depressed or sad as an entrepreneur because I don't feel adequate enough, or so and so is doing this and they got this going on and they're on this panel and they're doing this event and I'm just here. And so I think that that's a really, really good word of wisdom, especially when you're starting off, to not compare, but also just focus on your own paper, focus on what you have to do in order
Right.
to grow your business. 1,000%.
Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own journey. Everybody has their own timing. What are you doing while you're waiting for your moment? What does that
Mm,
look like while you're waiting for your moment?
mm.
So just kind of keep that thought in your mind. Like, yeah, it's not my time yet, but what am I doing until my time comes? I think that's very important because
Yeah.
you might not even get there if you can't appreciate where you are.
Yeah. That's good. Okay, Courtney.
Well, I am a mom.
Yes. No, that's really good. That's really good. I know that with you being in the game for 10 plus years, you have had repeat clients. You have had people that are loyal to you and your brand. What do you feel is the thing that helps you build a brand that has a loyal client base or a loyal customer base? What do you feel like helps you stand out to where you can get those repeat clients in your chair often?
I would say being consistent. I think being consistent and being you. I know that sounds so cliche. I feel like everybody say that, oh, just be yourself, be yourself. But seriously, I feel like if you can be consistent and keep it professional in your business, your clients will come back because you're giving them a reason to come back. Like they don't want to see a different Courtney every time they come. Like
Mm,
they don't want to wait 30 minutes for their appointments every time they come. They don't want to see an unclean environment every time they come. They know what they're coming into and they know what they're walking out of. So I
mm.
think being consistent and time management, being consistent in time management, I think that will go a long way. And then as far as social media presence has to be consistent.
Yeah.
You know, nowadays, yes, we need to unplug and take a break occasionally. But how often are you posting? How often are you working on your craft? How often are you working with other faces? What does your social media life look like compared to real life?
Mhm.
So I feel like my clients know that about me. So
Mhm.
I think that's what retains my client.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think you do an amazing job of balancing. We see Courtney behind the camera with the brushes, but we also see you doing different things where you're talking about your fitness journey. That's one thing that I see a lot where you're trying different things. You're either at the gym or you doing some kind of step class or you're showing moments of you being a mom. And I feel like having that balance shows that you're a well rounded person. It's nothing wrong with being all business, but I think also people relate to the person behind the business before they even
Right,
decide to purchase or to spend their money with you. And also, I feel like with you showing all of these different components of you, it also allows someone to be able to relate to you and want to support you more. Like I'm more likely to support you because you're a mom, because I can relate to you
right,
with you being where you are and where I'm being where I am. But people don't really get to see that part if you are keeping it. And there's nothing wrong with keeping things private. Of course, you share what you feel comfortable with sharing, but I think showing that you're a well-rounded person, that you're not just all business and you have no personality, you don't have fun. Like it's just like it hurts your business more than it helps. And so many people
right,
think like if I just am professional on social media, like that's what's gonna help me convert. But it's like no, if you actually show people that you're a real person, that you're a relatable person, that people can actually enjoy being in your presence,
right.
people are more likely to spend their money with you?
Yeah, I would say I would agree. I think people want to see transparency.
Yeah.
You don't have to give them everything, but give them something. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like even Courtney, you give me introvert vibes. So I feel like it is probably hard for you to put yourself out there, but I feel like you do a great job with doing it?
I am working on. I've always been. I like small settings. I would say I'm selective extrovert. Is that what it's called? The opposite.
Yeah.
I'm selective.
Yeah.
Like I need time to warm up to people, and it probably has a lot to do with just trust. obviously, I'm on the education side and I run a business, so you got to just be mindful all the time. But
Mm-hmm.
yes, I am. I would say I'm camera shy. This is something new. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone for 2025. But it has a lot to do with my career. It's like with the role of being an assistant coach. I was an assistant coach for 6 years. I've been doing makeup artistry for 10 years. Both of those roles are behind the scenes, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of
Mm-hmm.
those roles are spotlight. Okay, so
Yeah.
we're serving others. I'm
Yeah.
behind the camera filming others, or I'm servicing others, or I'm helping my head coach.
Mm-hmm.
So not being in that main spotlight role probably has a lot to do with me being
That's
introverted.
good. That's good. I've never really heard it explained like that. Because I do feel like whenever you feel like you are not in the main spotlight, like you don't feel compelled to always showcase. But then also on the other hand, I think it's good that you can show, because even there's so many people that are not in the main spotlight that want to see like, okay, well, how do they do this and how do they manage this? And and so I think that you have a really good balance of being able to do so, because I mean, the fact that I know several educators that are like, I can't even think about doing anything else once I get home from work, once I clock out, once I'm done being a teacher. And so I even commend you, because
There.
that's not easy.
But
That
I'm on
is
the
not
high school
easy.
end. I'm on the high school end. I think that helps. Those kids are older. They're a little bit more self-sufficient
Yeah.
versus elementary teachers. They're pretty much setting the foundation and they're
Got it.
babysitting throughout the day. None of it is easy. Let me just say that. None of it.
Yeah.
I'm still working on balance.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I still commend you, because I mean, being an educator, I feel like even you just being an educator and having a business, now that is a whole different lane that I feel takes a lot of discipline, a lot of commitment, and a lot of hard work. Because I know there are days where you're tired and you still like, I got to clock in, I got to get this stuff done. So I commend you. Because I'm
Yes,
like, I work from home, and I, it's a little bit easier because once I can easily clock out at 5, close my work computer, open my work
girl.
my laptop at 5:01. But it's not easy when you dealing with other people kids, and people kids be bad.
Yeah, that could be a challenge. 10 years later, I am still working on balance. I'm actually reading a daily devotional journal right now called 100 Days of Believing Bigger. And I encourage every woman to get this journal. It is right here. 100 Days of Believing Bigger. It's a daily journal.
Yeah.
It was by Marshawn Evans Daniels. And let me just briefly go over what day 34 says. So she talks about in the journal the 5 success mountains. And so she talks about number one being a marriage mountain, two, there's a motherhood mountain, three, there's a money mountain, four, there is a mending mountain, which is mending relationships, always helping others, and then five, there's a making a difference mountain. Like, what are you doing to making a difference? And she pretty much talks about the question that she asks is what mountain do you gravitate to the most, and how is this mountain defining you or confining you? And so when I think
Mm,
about balance, I'm like, dang, I like to think that I'm hitting 4 out of those 5 mountains. So
wow.
I am trying to balance. So I'm obviously not in the marriage mountain. I don't have a husband, but I'm in the motherhood mountain. I'm in the mending mountain, helping others solve
Yeah.
problems. I'm in the making a difference mountain with being a teacher. So yeah, I'm learning how to balance it all. But that
Yeah.
question popped out like, okay, which mountain do you gravitate to the most? And how does it confine you or define you? So I do think no mountain is bigger than the other and no mountain is worse than the other. But being okay with juggling multiple mountains and still climbing them.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And like, I feel like I can attest to all of them. I honestly feel, and I shared on my story today, I feel like I'm at this place, like this week, for some reason, I feel like my faith has been tested like no other in like all the departments of my life. And it's like a lot. Like, normally it's like, I'm dealing with one or two at the same time. But it's like when you're dealing with all of them at the same time, it's like
Yep.
overwhelming. Overwhelming. My husband is away he went to travel to Norway for 2 weeks for work. So he's been
Wow.
away for two
So
weeks. So
you're
I've
single
been
parenting right now.
solo parenting. Yeah. So then, I still have my full-time job and I'm doing all of my projects and stuff, trying to knock it out so that way when I get off at 5, before I go pick up Avery from school at 5:45, I'm like, okay, what can I get done in these quick 45 minutes? How can I make sure I'm still showing up consistently for my kids, getting out the emails, sending out pitches, all of these things. And it's just, I felt so overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't know how I'm doing this, but God, I really need
But
you
you're
like
doing
no
it.
other right
But
now.
you're doing it. And God always provides. God will always provide. He will make a way.
Yeah.
You have made a way. You're doing it now. You're
Yeah.
on this interview. So God provides. If He bring you to it, He'll bring you through it. Trust me.
Absolutely. And that's how I know this is something that's not of my own strength. This has to be God, because
Right.
there's no way that I
Right.
by myself will be able to do any of this.
Right.
But if God calls you to do something, he will also give you the strength to be able to endure through
Correct.
it. And so that's all. Every time I feel like giving up, I'm like, I can't give up because God has already equipped me with the strength, with the tools to go through it. It's just me getting on my head,
Correct.
telling myself that I can do it?
Yep.
So I'm definitely gonna be grabbing that book because I like stuff like that, and I like things that just like really stimulate me
Yep.
intellectually.
Yep.
So yeah, that's good. That's good.
It makes you think and it makes you write it down and it makes you hold yourself accountable when you have to write it down.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, how do you find the time to make time for Courtney? Courtney as Courtney, not Courtney as the entrepreneur, not Courtney as the mom, not Courtney as the teacher,
Right.
not any of those other roles, because I do feel
Right.
like as a mompreneur, we do have to have that sense of individuality where
Right.
we can, take away all of the other titles and just do things for us as the individual.
When my daughter got to 10th grade, and I was like, I have given myself to so many people,
Mm-hmm.
the kids in the classroom, the athletes on the floor. So when 10th grade came around, I said, this is my time to step back from coaching. This is my time to start removing some stuff from my plate because I know that there's only so much time left I'm going to have with my kiddo in the house, right? With her
Mm-hmm.
getting ready to go to college. So for one, just kind of like evaluating, like, okay, I know I'm spread thin, and as much as I like coaching, it is so much fun. Where can I use my time better?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So removing one portion of my job, which was coaching, and then second, I realized like, okay, now I've centered so much of my life around parenting. So I
Mm.
was also okay, like when she got to 10th grade, that's when I started going to step classes. What can I do that I like that's only for me?
Mhm.
Right? And so that's where I find myself in the gym. So with step classes, I go to the gym after work now. I love arts and crafts. Not really big on TV. I would say I'm still learning Courtney as outside of mother. I'm gonna always be a mother, but it's definitely like getting yourself set up and I'm ready and prepared for her to go off to college, right?
Yeah.
So I know that time is coming. She's a junior now. So I'm doing things for myself now, whether that's
Mhm.
massages or I just had a facial
Mhm.
2 weeks ago. I want to get a facial, nail shop. But yeah, I would say like definitely the fitness. The fitness is where it's at.
That's good. I love that that's your thing because I
Yeah,
struggle. I have to force myself to make
right.
fitness my thing. But the fact that it comes easy to you is great.
It comes easy. It comes easy. I'm getting better at it. Same thing with everything else. The more you do it, the better you get.
Yeah. No, I love that. I love that. That's another thing where I'm really trying to make time to do. And so even on Sundays, one thing that I've started to do is I bought this stress relief coloring book. And it's a color
Hmm.
by number situation. So on Sundays are my rest days, are my Sabbath day. I don't work. I just go to church. I come home, spend time with my family, get Avery off to sleep, straighten up my house, stuff like that. But then Sunday
As you should.
evenings are my time where I pour my glass of wine, I sit in my bed and I color one sheet of my color by number. And that just that it does it for me. So even when I can't like, schedule a staycation or when I can't do anything else lavish, if I want to go to the spa and I can't go to the spa or something like that, because even the nail shop, The nail shop used to be my thing, but now I feel like it's a job because I have to be there for 2 hours and I
Right,
can't do anything. So it used to be my thing, but it's not. I still go, but it's not like my self care thing. But that
right.
one thing that I really like to do is my little color by number with my glass of wine, where the house is quiet. My husband is either in his man cave, the baby is asleep, like I'm in the room, just a
There you
whole
go.
vibe.
Creating space for yourself. Creating space for yourself. I love that for you.
Yes, yes. And so I think that that's really good. But also, I want to talk about experiencing mom guilt because, sometimes we feel when we are doing all of these things, we're providing for a family, we're trying to build wealth, we're trying to make sure that they're taken care of so they never want for anything. But then in exchange for those things, exchange of time, where we sometimes find ourselves experiencing mom guilt because we can't be with them all the time. And so I want to talk about how you navigate mom guilt as a mompreneur, because that I feel like is crucial.
It's a thing.
It's a
It's
real
a
thing.
thing, and it's real. That's the human in us is wanting to be pulled in different directions or wanting to give to others. Just learning the boundaries of saying no, something I'm still working on. But now that I feel like she's old enough to understand sacrifice, she's
Mhm.
old enough to understand what has been given or what has been provided, and now that she can do for herself, it's the thing. Honestly, I would just say pray about it. There's really no answer for that. I feel like some things just come with time. Just like you evolve in your business, you have to evolve in that relationship of knowing that my child understands what I'm doing or why I'm doing it, because we have to be whole and healthy first, right? Parent to them. So it wouldn't be realistic to say don't worry about having mom guilt because it's gonna come.
Yeah.
Um, it's gonna come. It's gonna come sporadically over the ages. It's gonna come with sports. It's gonna come with birthdays. It's gonna come. But I feel like if you know within your heart what you're doing as a parent, you're sacrificing something for the betterment of them, you'll be okay.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah,
I
you'll
like
be okay.
I like that. I like that because I do find myself sometimes like if I'm working really hard, I have to work on something, and Avery's like, "Mommy, mommy," and he wants to play and do stuff. Like there are times where I'm like, "Okay, like let's just take a step back and go play with him for a little bit, get him situated, and then you come back to it." But there are some times where, like one time where Avery was sick and I had a shoot with a client, and I felt absolutely terrible. It took everything out of me not to
Yeah,
cancel on this lady, but I'm like, he is gonna be okay. He is in good hands. He was with his godparents because my husband was working.
yep.
And
Use the village. Use the
yeah,
village.
tap into your village. Tap into your and I had to remind myself, he's gonna be okay. This is all a part of the journey. You can't always be there. And that's another thing that I feel like I had to realize is like I can't always be there. I'm not going to always be there, but I
Right,
should be able to have people that I can lean on, that I can trust to be there when I can't, and when that can step into the gaps whenever I'm not available. But then also another word of encouragement and wisdom is understanding that when you're building a business, there are going to be times where you have to sacrifice, but I think also just like making sure that you are doing your due diligence of making time for your families. Like I said, I don't work 7 days a week. I don't.
right,
Sundays, I do not work at all. I cannot do anything on Sunday but go to church and spend time with my family. I don't care
right.
how great the opportunity is. I don't care what it is. That is my non negotiable time with my family. And so
As you
even
should.
when I know that if there's something going on in the week and I already have like a conflict or something, I know for a fact I can make up time and spend time with my family that following Sunday because that's the time that is non-negotiable.
Good for you. Hey, look, I need to be following your lead.
Harder for you. It's
You
harder
know,
for you.
yeah, even like with education, like some districts do a mental health day where you can take off one day a month for mental health. Right now, I'm on February break, so this is my downtime. So I use it when I can use it. Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, Sundays are sometimes weddings, so I'm
Hmm.
still working on Sundays, and then I'm back in the classroom on Mondays. But I use my time wisely. That's why I have this monthly calendar. When is
Hmm.
my downtime, and when is my highs and my lows?
Yeah. And so basically whenever you open up your book, you allow people to book, and then you assess your calendar and you're like, okay, well, I don't have anything going on this week, so this week is going to be for me, or I don't have anything going on this day, so maybe I'll spend time with my daughter.
Yeah, or If it's necessary, I'll cap my clients. I'll close my book. I typically do about 25 to 35 faces a month. And I know that sounds like a lot, but you got to think about bridal parties. I normally do like 6 faces. So if I have 2 bridal parties per month, that's already 12 faces, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I can cap it at 30, I'll cap it at 30. I'll close off my books, and that allows me some time on my end.
That's a good thing, because then that kind of brings me into burnout. So obviously, with you doing all of these things and always being on the go, you are more likely to be a type of person that is susceptible to burnout, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you kind of already hit on it, is that one way that you combat burnout is setting limits. I don't just allow 100 people to book me in 1 month, or
Correct.
I don't allow myself to have, a wedding every single weekend or something like you set boundaries and limits. And I think also we're coming with that, because I think a lot of people, when you're first starting out, or whenever you start seeing a volume pickup of clients, it's so easy for you to fall into this trap. Like, the money's good, the money's good, the money's good. But not all money is good money, especially if you're going to be burnt out and you're not going to be able to perform your services with excellence. Because when you're burnt out, you can't be excellent when you're burnt out. You can't.
Right.
Something
Right.
is compromised, whether that's the customer experience, whether that's the customer service, whether that's the quality of your work, whatever it is. You cannot be 100% when you're operating on fumes. And so, as far as your limits, and I know that this is probably something that you also talk about in your book, when you first start out, having a structure in how you run. I love the idea of you just opening your calendar 1 month at a time. But then also, what does it look like as far as your boundaries with clients? Like you said, I only do 25 to 35. How do you combat somebody like Courtney? I really, really need you. I really, really need you. How do you even manage that?
Sometimes it's okay to put yourself first.
Mm.
Sometimes it's okay to say no. And I talk about that again in my little journal here. Sometimes it's okay to say no. I understand at the beginning you want overflow. You don't want to say no. You want to kind of take every opportunity that you can. But again, as time went on, as my business evolved, as I have grown as a young woman, definitely quality over quantity. Right. So I want to make sure I'm at my very best. I'm at the best version I can be for myself. So I want to make sure I'm that for my clients as well. Just be realistic, plan it out, write it down and plan it out. Like, am I able to do this many faces?
Mm-hmm.
Am I able to service this many clients in this month? Or am I spreading myself too thin?
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, man, time management and planning helps so much. And in
Yeah.
being in education, it comes easy now because you have to do that anyway when you're planning for your classroom lessons.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. I want to hit on one thing about content creation, because I feel like you are killing it as far as
I'll take that.
a beauty entrepreneur online. I feel like you do a phenomenal job with your content. And
I appreciate that.
one reason I say this is because I always see your content pop up on Facebook and Instagram, first of all. But it was this one post that you did that was talking about how people take inspiration pictures from other people, not realizing that makeup artists are using filters on their photos. And you were showing the difference between, okay, this is what it looks like raw, this is what it looks like with the light, and this is what it looks like with a filter, and how the difference it was. First of all, what made you even think of doing that? Because that was genius, first of all. And then also,
Well,
how do you manage your content creation as a beauty entrepreneur? Because a lot of people think, I got this going on, I got this going on, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I don't have time for content. But it's you're making it work. So how do you do this?
well, first, I'm going to say thank you for calling me a content creator. I don't really see myself or label myself as a content creator, but I do understand that we are definitely in the time of reels. Thanks to social media and Instagram, we're definitely in the time of people need to see it to believe it, right? So
Mm,
they want to see, if I say I'm a bridal party makeup artist, they need to see how many faces I can do. They need to see the different skin tones that I work with. They need to see, if I say I can service in 1 hour, they need to see that I've finished a bridal party in 1 hour. And again, learning as I go, because these were not my issues 4, 5, 6 years ago. I didn't have to worry about setting up a tripod, having a second phone, letting it time lapse or letting it, but if that's what the viewers want to see, sometimes you have to do what the viewers need to see. It's almost just like the whole, like, whatever your customer wants, the customer's always right, or whatever your understanding or your perspective is on that. But we're definitely in the world of videos and media. So for me personally, I like to show my live videos. I like to post my videos of each client when I'm working with bridal parties, because most of the time your videos can't be filtered, right? So versus like if you put one picture next to the other picture, you'll have like them with no makeup, and that's like the raw shot, and then there's like a cartoon one, and there's like over editing, right? And we've all been there. Like even when I first started, I used to like back in 2014, I used to like put one picture next to the other picture, and like this one's really pretty and this one is just like supernatural. But I feel like the more artistry is promoted as like filters and face tunes and beauty apps, I don't think it gives the client a realistic view of what they would look like when they leave the chair, if that makes sense. This is what beauty apps can do. It can put hair volume. It can add volume on the lashes. It can deeply contour. It can change the eye shape. It can make the lips fuller. We got to get away from like the catfishing world of like, it's just the real deal. They need to
Yeah.
see the real deal.
No, I think you did a phenomenal job with that. So I
Sure
was like,
into.
Courtney, this is brilliant. Like, this is brilliant because there's several times where like I'll go and I'll see like makeup artists, and you could tell that the photos like they use face tuning. I don't know if it's just me
Right.
because me being in the content creation space, like knowing
Correct.
about the apps and edits, but I'm like, you can tell this is face
Yeah.
tuned. Like this
Yeah.
don't even look real. And I mean, it's a beautiful photo, but it's like
Right.
you're selling a false promise to people who
Right.
landed on your page and are like, oh, I want my makeup to look like this. They go book you and look nothing like that, and they're
Right.
so yeah,
And then they want to go on social media and rant about like, this is what I asked for and this is what
and
I
this
look
is what I
like.
got.
But it's like some of them honestly don't know if they're truly not in the makeup artistry industry, or if they're truly not in the beauty industry and they're just coming for a special occasion. They probably really don't know what the expectation is. So they are specifically going off your work. So my advice even to clients is what I said on the post, like, study the artistry that you like, review their pages, check their Instagram stories, check their work, look for videos. Everything can't be side by side
Mhm.
cartoon looks like.
Mhm.
Also do your part when you're shopping for the type of makeup artist you're looking for, or the makeup artistry style. Everybody's style is different. Some
Mhm.
people like older, some people like softer. So yeah, I would say even for the client, on the client side, you have to do your homework and do your research as well, as far as what type of artistry style you're looking for.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's really, really good. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt really good about the content you're putting out? Are you tired of scrambling to post, feeling like you're never ahead, or just unsure on how to show up online consistently? Now, if you're nodding your head, I want you to listen up because my content intensive package was made just for you. Here's the deal. In just one day, we'll create 1 to 2 months worth of high quality, impactful content that will have your brand showing up consistently and professionally. This isn't just some cute little photo shoot. No, ma'am. This is a full blown, done for you content experience that includes everything you need to elevate your brand and connect with your audience. Oh, and did I mention this is an all inclusive experience? Because, yes, girl, we're getting it all done in one go. Whether you're launching something new, building a personal brand, or scaling your business, this package is everything you need to show up online without the stress. And I want to help you do it. So let's talk about it. Head over to cdcreativecoagency.com/contact to book your free discovery call. I want to learn everything about you, your brand, your goals, and how we can make this happen for you. You don't need to keep struggling to figure out what to post. Let's get your content done in one day so you can focus on growing your business. Now let's get back to the show. I want to move into, as we close, some encouragement for aspiring side hustlers, for inspiring mompreneurs. What is one thing that you wish you knew before you decided to start your business?
Ooh, there's a lot. I mean, you learn something new as your business grows. There's a lot I wish, honestly, like, that's part of the reason why I created my beauty professional learner's guide. I feel like it's a learner's guide because I feel like YouTube shows tutorials on how to do your brows or how to do skincare or how to apply lashes and things like that. But back when I was coming into the makeup artistry, there was no guide on how to start a business, what that looks like, what are some booking links you can use, what are some graphic designers that you can use. I just learned in 2023, I would say, I just purchased business insurance. Nobody gave you all the tools behind the work, even as a hairstylist. Like, okay, yeah, you have these curling irons and you can watch videos on how to use them, but like, what happens when a wedding venue says like, hey, do you have business insurance because you have like hot tools? Like, I'm still learning as I go, and I was like, you know, to give back to the community or to inspiring artists for year 10, that was something that I just wanted to give back. I just thought about like, let me create like a learner's guide, like something beyond makeup artistry. Anybody can get on TikTok and click for a video. Anybody can get on YouTube and click for a video. What are some things that I wish I knew coming into the game? So things like setting boundaries, setting your prices, how to manage family and friends that want the discount, being okay with saying no, not comparing yourself to others. What vision do you have for your business, and what did God say He was going to do for your business? All the things beyond when I put these brushes down, how am I still able to maintain and sustain my business? Setting yourself apart from like it being a side hustle versus being a business. These are the things and the tools you probably need before you start the business.
Yeah. 1,000%. 1,000%.
So
And
a
that's
lot.
really good.
My answer to that is a lot.
The answer is get the book.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is the answer. No, that's really good. And I guess my final question is what would you say to women who feel like they don't have time to start their side hustle?
You never know what you are capable of doing it until you are in the position to do it. Man, if it's on your heart to do it, pray about it. If God brought it to you, you can do it. I actually never picked up a makeup brush and saw myself as a makeup artist. So I would say if it's something you want to do, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
You really just got to come up with a plan. If that's like, hey, I need to set aside 2 days a week to order some products, or I need to set aside 2 days a week to look for someone to build my logo. Give yourself some measurable goals. This month, I want to have my logo made. Next month, I want to have a photo shoot. The month after that, I want to have my website created. I want to partner with a hairstylist, so maybe we can do some shots together. Make some reachable goals and be okay with being a beginner, being okay with being an amateur, being okay with not starting off with 1,000 followers, being okay with where you are, and enjoying the journey. Enjoying the journey. Too many people, I feel like, in social media, they want this overnight success. Enjoy the journey, man. Because if you skip it, or if you too far ahead, or if you premature, it may not be what you thought it was gonna be. So I just say pray about it, write some steps, execute the steps, hold yourself accountable too though. Don't give yourself a date and don't follow through on the date.
Yeah.
Enjoy the process.
That's good.
Ask questions, ask for help.
Ask for help.
Yeah.
That's really the key. Ask for help. Especially if you are a mompreneur, asking for help is going to be the key component to your success. How many times we think we have to prove to everybody that we can do everything and end up causing ourselves selling ourselves short, stressing ourselves out for nothing, all because we don't want to open our
Yep.
mouths up and ask for help. And God
Yep.
has given us people that He has strategically placed in our lives for us to lean on in this season of building something for help.
Yep. Yep.
Even as a mom, even as a first time mom, like, you go through this patch of where you're like, nobody can touch my baby, watch my baby, nothing. Like, and so I think it's important for you to, even though you ask for help, you also want to use discernment on who you ask for help.
Yep.
And most of the time, when you have people that are in your circle and are truly, truly, truly for you, like, you will be able to lean on those people. Like, I have a small, like, my village is not big at all. And
Me either.
I'm grateful for it because I've seen people who have like aunties, cousins, grandmas, and all these people that they can trust to watch their kid, but that's not me, and that's okay.
Right.
But even though my village is so small, I know for a fact one, two, or three people that I can
Yeah,
trust to make sure that my child is going to be taken care of, to make sure my home is going to be taken care of if I have to step away for
absolutely.
however long, and so having discernment to figure out who is in your circle while you're
Yeah,
building your business is going to be another key thing too. But don't feel obligated like I don't trust anybody, so I'm not going to trust nobody, so I'm just going to do it on my own, because you're
right.
setting yourself way, way, way behind by having that mindset already from the jump.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, that's good. Well, thank you, Courtney. This was amazing.
You're welcome.
And I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of
Thank
you.
you. I'm
But
proud of you.
no, and the funny thing is that I had sent Courtney an email at like 2 a.m. one morning, and I was like, Courtney, come be on my podcast. And I didn't hear anything back. And then the next day I went to the gym and I said, Courtney, I sent you an email. She's like, you sure did.
I was just like, it was the beginning of the year. It was a lot going on. I saw the email. I processed the email. I was like, dang, she on the good podcast. I'm so camera shy. This is not for me right now. I'm
Exactly what you
side.
said.
I'll put this to the side. And then I would get back. Yeah, I was telling my daughter that today. I was like, sometimes God just gonna push you off the ledge. I say, just
And that's what I said. I
at
was
the
like,
gym.
see,
I
God
said,
must
"See you at the gym."
have knew what you needed, because I normally don't ever see you at the gym. That's the crazy thing. I
And you
don't
know
ever
what?
see you at
And
the
I go
gym.
to that gym 4 days a week, and that was my first time seeing you there.
Yes. I was like, what are the odds? So you was trying to escape me, but God was like, no, I'm gonna strategically
God
plant
said,
her
I'm gonna
here.
push you. He said, I'm gonna push you. You might fall, but I'm gonna push you.
Love that. God is so good. No, that is
Yes,
amazing.
yes, yes. Delayed, but not denied.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But before we go, Courtney, where can the people follow you, follow your journey, support your business? Where can they find you online?
So my Facebook name is Courtney Darden, Courtney with a C. It is a public page. Shoot me a friend request. I will follow you back. My Instagram is _ imperishable beauty bar with another underscore. And my TikTok is _ imperishable beauty bar _ So
Yes, and we'll put them in the description box as well below. And then also, before we go, Courtney, I want you to tell people about your book. Where can they grab it? Who's it for? And where can they get it?
So, yes, my learner's guide for beauty professionals, Beyond the Artistry. If you click my booking link, you can purchase my book. You can get electronic copy for $15, or you can get this hard copy for $25. But again, as we stated before, it was something that I wanted to do for beginning makeup artistry or beginner beauty influencers. These are all the topics that I have experienced within my 10 years of artistry into this blueprint. And it's not specifically just for beginners. If you want to support or you're okay with being open to learning, I do think that everybody could take something out of this.
That is so good.
There's
I love
always
that.
room for growth. There's always room for improvement.
So,
Yeah.
if you want to grab your copy of Beyond the Artistry, you can click the link in the description box below. If you just want to support Courtney, you love Courtney after this episode, you can definitely go grab her book too. I know I will definitely be getting my hands on one. I want the physical copy though, and I want it autographed. Thank you so much, Courtney, for hopping on the podcast with me today. This was so much fun, and I am so excited for you, your business, your success. And yeah, I know a lot of people are going to get so many gems from this episode. So thank you so much for getting out your comfort zone and hopping on the episode with me.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Side-HustlHER Podcast. I hope you're leaving here today feeling inspired and ready to take your next step. If you love this episode, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a review, and share with another side hustler who needs to hear it. And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram at Carly Dorlin. I'd love to hear about your side hustling journey. Remember, you're doing better than you think, and your dreams are so worth it. Until next time, keep hustling, sis. You got this.